It was a rough start for Acting Fire Chief Ray Perez, giving an update on the operations of one of the most critical agencies of the Government of Guam, especially the state of the Guam Fire Department's ailing fleet of medics.
Happy that there's only one.
So let me make that perfectly clear, that I am never glad, and we should never be glad, that we have a crisis in our hands.
I'm happy because now it's coming out. Okay. It's coming out. Okay. Solutions.
As we reported on KUAM.com, the Guam Fire Department's fleet of medics nearly flatlined Wednesday night.
For a period of 1 hour and 15 minutes, we were down to one.
So just how many medics does GFD have in its current fleet?
We have 14, sir.
The bad news?
Maybe 1 or 2 are just completely out of whack that we can't. It's not even advisable to have repair because...
Even worse?
Usually 4 on average.
Are responding on any given day to 911 calls island-wide. Discussion during today's briefing turned toward whether an emergency declaration should be declared for Guam Fire, thereby cutting all the red tape and bureaucracy that normally would tie up procurement.
People are dying out there, and we all know it. It's been hitting the news because it takes an hour, 2 hours to get to people who we're conducting CPR on.
Yeah, and
is that not an emergency?
GFD management was tasked with coming up with short-term and long-term solutions to the medic problem, some of which discussed during the briefing included leasing medics from private transport companies currently performing similar duties. GFD was also tasked with turning in a preventative maintenance plan inclusive of just how much GFD really needs to keep its fleet maintained and running. And in light of GFD's newly inked contract for billing for ambulance fees, management was tasked with coming up with a projection of how much it plans on collecting. Captain Ruben Olivas, who appeared at the briefing in his personal capacity, already did the math.
You're looking at $1.5 million per year. $1.5 million per year at a very conservative rate will buy a lot of ambulances and fire trucks and the associated equipment, to also include paying for maintenance services and repairs.
GFD will be reporting back to the committee with the requested reports. Thursday's briefing, meanwhile, ended just as it began, with a bit of controversy. Acting Chief Perez taking heat for a decision he made when he came on board in March to relieve GFD's Chief Certifying Officer, Marilyn Appleby, of one major area of responsibility.
Marilyn was a certifying officer. I asked her for the certification part to let me have it, and it's in regards to insecuritiness. If I'm going to go to jail, then I'm going to go to jail because of my mistakes.
I've been replaced with the Secretary 1.
Tell me, do you trust that, whose function does not include fiscal monitoring and fiscal certification, over a person who's actually hired for that? It's just yes or no.
When I get back to my office, I'm going to look at the job descriptions because